I just think he was so calm coming out. He probably couldn't walk out in tougher conditions with Jasper running down the hill with the lights on. So, I think at one point he was running all 50 or around that. So, it was great batting with him. I always have a good time out there in the middle with him, and goosebumps when he got to 100. You could see what it meant to him. He's such a big part of this dressing room, and it was just great to see him be there 100 not out. Yeah, of course it did. We're very good at keeping things in the dressing room, but obviously you can hear the noise from outside of it, and Popey can't start the summer any better, scoring 170 and then being 100 not out in the conditions today. So we're obviously very delighted for him. Yeah, he's the best bowler in the world. He's extremely hard to face. He's good in any conditions. He's good in India on the flattest pitches ever, and when he's coming in down the hill with the lights on and it's swinging both ways, it's tough. And I feel like we minimised the damage early on. It could have been a lot worse today. So I think we're pretty happy in the position we're in. Yeah, it was until those dark clouds were rolling in, but Tony's great. I've seen him do that for knots a lot. He's got the extra pace, the X factor about him, and I've seen him kind of, I call him the mop, but mopping up the tails at the end, and it's exactly what you want when you've been in the field for 120 overs. There's nothing more frustrating than 9, 10, 11 chipping in with runs and putting on a partnership. I mean, strong. I don't know what's inside Popey's head, but I think he's just stayed true to the way that he plays, and there's no better feeling than that. Scoring 100 against that attack, coming out in the first over, we 4 for 1. You could just see it in the way that he celebrated, and it didn't just mean a lot to him, it meant a huge amount in the dressing room as well. No, I actually didn't really want to target him. It felt like, trying to minimise the damage for him. I think I even left the ball to him, so that showed my intent. He's just a world-class bowler, and you can't let someone like him just bowl. He's too good for that. You've got to still try and put him under pressure and try and put the bad balls away. And then I think on a total, who knows? It just depends on. We've had some incredible days as a dressing room, and if we can get a couple of guys in on that pitch tomorrow, if the sun's out, you've seen when India batted how quickly you can score. I think the main focus is to win that first session. If we can walk in at lunch and we've won the morning session, it certainly sets things up a bit better. Yeah, I mean, I think with Jasper, it's first of all how unique his run up is. You're obviously waiting for him to get there, and I think just his ability to bowl 3 or 4 different balls with no cue. You don't know he's bowling a bouncer or a slower ball, a Yorker or a way swinger or an in-swinger until it comes out of his hand, really. He's got such a fast wrist. So that's why you've got to watch the ball so hard with him. That's the difference, really. I think other bowlers you can maybe see out the hand if they're bowling a wobble ball or an away swinger or something, but it's just very difficult to pick it up with Jasper.
And the catch, drop catch?
Well, I was just very happy to be out there, especially. Well, I mean, it depends, I guess, in different situations, but there's noise outside of a dressing room, but there's no noise in it. So I guess that's the way. We're not having discussions in the dressing room about who's going to play. It seemed pretty clear coming into this test match, if a bloke scored 170 a few weeks ago, he's going to play this day. That's just how it was, and I think individually it's how you deal with that. As a dressing room, I think we're very good at, if someone needs to get around him, we'll do that. If someone needs to be left alone, we'll do the same. But what's been going through Popey's head for the last few weeks, I don't know. But to be told 2 or 3 days out that you're playing is probably a good thing for him. You're not waiting until the day before, and you can train the way you want to train. But I just think it's an individual thing on how you go about doing that, and the way Popey's dealt with that, it's just been superb, and just sums up and proves why he's in as number 3 and doing the things that he's doing.